Hey everyone, and welcome back to Whizbit's Random Gaming. Now, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's been watching the videos recently, all the subscribers, new and old. You're really helping the channel grow. It's been a really positive experience recently, and I'm really psyched up to get you guys some more content moving forward. Now, just to let you know, I've recently become a partner of YouTube, and if you'd like to support the channel in a very small way, you can at the very low cost of 99 pence a month. There are other tiers available, and it is optional. It's not what we're here for. Anything that does come back into the channel, I assure you, will go into giveaways that will be held on future videos. So yeah, if you'd like to take that option, you can check out the link below in my bio. It's much appreciated. If not, again, I hope you enjoy the content. It's not something I'm charging for. So yeah, just go ahead and enjoy. Now, also as well, we've recently started up a Whizbits Random Gaming Facebook page. Now, it's steadily growing at a good pace, and we're having a great time over there. We've got lots of people contributing. We're putting in retro games of the day, we're putting in memes, deals of the day, and we're trying to get more discussion started on a regular basis. So if you're part of the Facebook world and you want to come over and chat some nonsense about video games and take your mind off of the distractions that life tends to give you, come on over and join the group. You'll be welcome, and I hope to see you guys there. Anyway, let's get on with today's video. Thanks again for watching. Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Whizbit's Random Gaming. Now, today we're jumping on a train. We're going to a CEX I've been aiming to go for some time. My boys, they love train rides, so we decided to hit it today. And today we are down at Chatham CEX. Now, I've seen this CEX on a few videos from time to time, most notably from the OG Duffy. I think this might be his local, and it always looks like it's got some pretty good stuff in it. So this one was always quite high on the list of CEXs that I needed to visit in 2025. Now, before we get inside, just to let you guys know, if you happen to like this kind of content, video gameplay chat, all that kind of stuff, then please take the time to consider subscribing to the channel. It's much appreciated, and it's really helping the channel grow. Now, every now and then you happen to see something very random in a CEX window, and today I think I've found the most random thing that I've ever seen. It's a Father Ted photo. Gotta love Father Ted. Anyway, let's look at some games, some video game stuff. We've got some Saturn games in the front here. A nice copy of Project 02 on the OG Xbox as well. Got some heavy hitting PlayStation 2 games here. Clock Tower 3. That seems to have gone up to £72 now. I do want to pick that one up at some point. Now, every copy of Rule of Rose seems to end up in CEX, doesn't it? Well, apart from my one. But wow, the value has dropped on that, hasn't it, since the whole eBay influx of Italian copies. Some nice conditioned boxed consoles here. The NES Mini and the SNES Mini seem to have held their value. In particular, the NES Mini, although that's not the one here today. A very expensive Sonic game there. You don't see too many of those. And that Harry Potter game, very expensive for a PlayStation 2 game. Anyone going for the full PlayStation 2 set, I feel your pain if you're having to buy that one. Now, a minty copy of Space Harrier here on the Game Gear. Game Gear games and the boxes they come in are notorious for looking rough. So yeah, well done on keeping that one in good condition, whoever traded that in. Now, Fire Emblem isn't my kind of game in no way, shape or form, but this collector's edition, I must say, is beautiful. Absolutely love this. Comes with this really nice art book and all these other items as well. £170 though, very expensive. Now here we have the PlayStation Portal, but on this occasion it happens to be the PlayStation Anniversary Edition, which are obviously more sought after. And as you can see with the £270 price tag, the price reflects that. Anyway, let's head on inside the shop and see what they've got to offer. Now I've come down here not looking for anything in particular, as I've been looking at my wish list, but there is a couple of PlayStation Sub Sets that I've decided to go for, so hopefully I can begin at least one of those today. They're relatively cheap games, but I've realised that I currently don't own any of them, so I'm going to be keeping an eye out for what I'm talking about today. Hopefully they'll have at least one of those games, and you'll see that at the end of the video if I manage to find it. If not, I'll just blag and leak what it was halfway through. Now I've said it many times, but for me the Xbox control pads, they are the best. They are aesthetically the best looking as well, although maybe not this one. I was never a fan of the Duke, and I'm not going to be buying the reproduction one, especially considering it's wired as well. Now I don't know why, but for some reason I'm looking at this Xbox 360 and it looks like it's gonna explode or something. It looks really old and like it's not ready to be used. Maybe it's just me. Nice selection of Dreamcast games here alongside a few Saturn bits as well. And one of my favourite Master System games there, Fantasy Zone. It was considered a budget title back in the day. And I think most kids ended up with a few of those budget titles when they migrated from the 8-bit micros over to a console. And yeah, Fantasy Zone was one of those, and I definitely had a copy of that. I played it absolutely loads. Someone looks like they've thrown up on that Pikachu control pad there. A really nice selection of DS's here, but you're going to find that in most CEXs, to be honest with you. The DS and the Switch is probably the console you'll find the most of when you go to any branch of CEX. A loose Super Game Boy player there. I can't believe how cheap they are, £15. If you're a SNES collector, that's got to be something you're interested in. Now it looks like someone's traded in the majority of their Evercade collection here. As you can see, a rather large amount of Evercade games, and there's some really good ones here. Now I'm a big Evercade fan, so I guess I know what I'm on about to a degree with the titles that are available on that, and yeah, some really good ones. Now I said earlier that the Switch and the DS probably the most common consoles you'll find in your CEXs, but there's always a huge variety of Xboxes and PlayStations as well. Now, you don't see these too often these days, and that is the PSP Go. Not a great seller when it was first released, and for that reason, the price is a little bit higher now. That just seems to be the way it works in video game technology. Now, there's a real mishmash of PlayStation 1 games here. The most notable one you can see, obviously, being Silent Hill. But you've got to show some love to Croc as well. Now, an absolute shed load of UMDs there, and a very, very small selection of PlayStation Vita games. Seems to be the case in the majority of places that you go. Indie shops seem to be the way to go if you're a PS Vita collector, in all honesty. Very expensive collection to go for, I must say. So anyway, I'm going to have a quick browse of the PlayStation 2 section now. I'm looking for a couple of games to start, separate subsets in particular. So I'm hoping that I've got at least one of those games today. Now, although it might not look it because of how boring the PlayStation 2 spines are, I must say they had some really good titles in stock. Not a great deal that I personally am after because I've got a fairly big PlayStation 2 collection. I wouldn't say I'm near the end of my PlayStation 2 buying because there's so many titles out there. But the majority of stuff that you're seeing here today that I would have bought, I probably already own. And the other stuff I just wasn't really in the market for today. Now remember, although I come to CEX and do these videos on a weekly basis, I work with vouchers, I work with cash on occasion. So yeah, I haven't always got the massive budget that I wished I had to take home as many games as possible. And today in general, it was more of a day trip out. Yeah, some trip, kids, to Chatham. But yeah, they enjoyed it anyway. It was more to go out and about and just take them out on a bank holiday. The Southeastern trains. My kids love going on different trains, and that's one they haven't been on. So yeah, that was pretty much the aim today. It was just the fact that I could hit a CEX on the same day and get the video done. But of course I'm going to be walking out of here with something today. It's very rare that you'll see me go home with nothing. I think in all the time I've been doing these videos, it's happened on one occasion, and that was one of my most recent videos in Brixton, where it was a total disaster. Now, if you know how often the Wii U games are in stock in CEX, you'll notice that this isn't a bad selection, although I could do without that tissue there. I'm glad I didn't need Mario Kart today. Nothing though I was looking to pick up. I've recently picked up quite a few games on the Wii U, so I'm enjoying the journey. Not looking to rush completing that full set. Although I must say it's better on the GameCube here. Again, another system you don't see too often out and about, and they had a pretty decent selection of titles. Although the OG Xbox, as you can see here, definitely had its fair share of titles. And again, it's another system. Depending on the CEX that you go, you'll see maybe 3 or 4 games, or 2 or 3 rows like you've got here. Now, there's some really good games actually in here, and I haven't actually picked anything up on the OG Xbox in some time, so I'm thinking about picking a couple of these up today. Now, straight over to the Nintendo Wii. There was a couple of games here today that I was unaware of, shall we say, and the price was a little bit high on them. I'll show you one of them very shortly. And for that reason, I wasn't going to be picking them up for the collection. I'd like to go home, do a little bit more research to see whether I'm buying a dud, shall we say, or not. I mean, £25 is not the most expensive sort of money for a video game, but it's quite high in terms of what the majority of Nintendo Wii video games go for. Now, here's the one I was talking about in particular. Inazuma 11 Strikers. Now, I personally have never heard of this game. It looks fun. The copy was really clean, it was minty. As you know, the Wii covers tend to get really grimy, and £25, it is an expensive Nintendo Wii game, but yeah, I'm definitely going to go home and look at this game and see what it's all about. Now let's head on over to the Xbox 360 section. You see Afro Samurai there. It's a game I picked up not too long ago, and I still haven't got my teeth into that game. I'm going to be doing a video about the Xbox 360, and I'm going to be drawing a few of my games out and talking about them. And I'm sure that's going to be one of them. So I think that's going to give me an incentive to play some of the games that I either haven't played or just haven't really devoted as much time to as I probably would have liked to. Now we've got Golden Axe Beast Rider there, a very average game that almost killed off the Golden Axe franchise. I say almost because there is a remake in the works by Sega. Now you would have also seen that Walking Dead game on the 360 there at £6. I didn't pick that up today, and the reason is I need to pick that up on the Wii U at a very inflated price at some point. Now here's a game I personally never seen this one before. Depending on what I pick up today, this one might go on the wish list. And another game you don't see too often. I see people talking about this is becoming a little bit of a rarity, but still, I'm trying to stop buying as much shovelware as possible. And just trying to focus on games I want to play now, rather than having a collection of games just for the sake of it. Now, you know what? This was around about £20 odd not too long ago. Maybe more, £25. But it's gone down to £12 now, and that's a real bargain. So if you happen to see that game out and about, and you don't really know much about it, at £12, I highly recommend you pick that one up. Now talk about drops in prices. Ninja Blade at £6. When the Xbox store closed and you had the influx of games that sort of rose in price, Ninja Blade I believe was one of those. At £6, this is a really fun game, and I recommend picking this one up if you see it. If you haven't already got it in your collection. Now, not much on the PlayStation 3, in all honesty, that I personally want today. My boy was eyeing up Family Guy. For some reason, that game is always quite highly priced. It's like £25, and I don't know if it's a good game or not, but yeah, there you go. There it is right there. My boy, he started to watch that TV show without my permission, I might add. He's being a bit sneaky watching it on YouTube. But yeah, Family Guy is a £25 game. Let me know in the comments why that is, please. Can't quite get my head around it. Now there you've got the Sonic game, I think it's at 2006. Absolutely terrible game, and probably the game that really did so much damage to the Sonic franchise, in all honesty. It's absolutely terrible. Now we're going over, have a look at the Switch game. As I always say, if I can come home with a Nintendo Switch game on the day, it's a good day. Now, whilst I've got a load of Switch games in stock, as you can see here, nothing really I was looking for. I've got a lot of these titles already, and yeah, my Switch buying direction has kind of changed. I'm kind of buying a lot more obscure stuff now, the sort of indie type games on physical where and as and where possible, to be quite honest with you. Now, it's quite rare that you see these games in CEX because a lot of them are NTSC. Unless it's maybe something by Super Rare Games. Now, let's head on over to the PlayStation 5. I'm enjoying my PlayStation 5 a lot more than I previously did. I recently did a video about that, so check it out if you want to know my thoughts on the PlayStation 5. But yeah, there's some good stuff here. Not so much that I'm interested. There was one or two titles, but again, at the price point, I probably wasn't prepared to pay on the day. Now, this is one of those games, and it's still Wakes the Deep. Very interested in this game. I've never even watched any footage of it. I don't really know a great deal about it, but it seems to be a horror game of sorts, and yeah, it's definitely one that I've got on my list. Ideally, I would like to pay a little bit less for this game, and I'm hoping it goes down. If I see the price go up at any point, then I'll probably bite the bullet, because horror games, as most of us know, they tend to hold their value. Now, a quick breeze through the Xbox Series selection, and when I say quick, it really is quick, because I browsed through this before I was filming, and I knew in advance there wasn't anything that I was going to be picking up today. Now, the PlayStation 4, in any CEX that you go to, is always going to have one of, if not the biggest selection of games, just due to the sheer popularity of it and the fact that it still sells well today. A lot of people still playing their PlayStation 4 as their main console in 2025. One of the big problems the PlayStation 5 had is the fact that it relied on PlayStation 4 releases for too long. Now we've got a game here, Surviving the Aftermath. I've seen it once or twice, don't know much about it, but it sounds like basically the aftermath of babysitting my children. Now behind the can, a little bit difficult to film, but as you can see, some real good titles here. Lollipop Chainsaw, we've got Silent Hill 2, we've got a couple of copies of Deadpool as well, some Yakuza titles. So there was some real good stuff in this shop today. Anyway, let's have a look at my pickups today. So as I said earlier, I haven't bought anything on the OG Xbox in some time. So Gauntlet 7 Sorrows was a game that really looks interesting. I love the original Gauntlet game from back in the day, and I don't think I own any of the more modern variations. So yeah, I was looking to pick this one up, and at £5 had to be done today. Now WWF Raw 2 on the Xbox is only on the OG Xbox, this game, and it's a game I've been after for some time. Normally when I see it, it doesn't have a manual. It had a manual today, and when I was picking this one up, the staff member said to me, literally, this was only traded in that morning. So I did manage to start one of these subsets that I mentioned earlier in the video, and I noticed that Jax and Daxter, I haven't got any of those games in my collection currently. I believe I've owned them in the past, but I don't own them anymore for various reasons. So for that reason, I was looking to pick up as many of these games today as possible. So yeah, I've got Jax free. Let the subset collection begin. Anyway guys, that was Chatham CEX in May 2025. Pretty good shop. I'll definitely be coming back. I'll probably be driving down here next time, as the Southeastern tickets cost me and the kids a good £30 return. I didn't see that one coming. They obviously saw me coming. But yeah, I really enjoyed it in there. Really good selection, some really clean stock. Staff are really friendly as well. Very positive experience in this shop today. Very happy with what I picked up as well. I could have picked up a lot more, but you know, funds only stretch so far. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.